Hello, can you hear me now? You guys can't let me go that long without telling me that. Uh, can you hear me now? Somebody let me know. Looks like you should be able to, but please, somebody confirm for me if you can. Anything at all? Yes, okay, thank you. I think this guy must have turned off my mic. Did you turn off my mic? There's a guilty look on his face. Any requests today? What do you guys need? What do you desire? Let me make your dreams come true. Tell me your Qigong dreams. Let me know in the chat. You guys got any requests? I'm totally happy to make it up as I go. But if you got anything specific you'd like, well, I don't see anything today. Oh, I see. Upper back tightness. Sure. Any dragon thing. It's all dragon things in Qigong. Or he's feeling stiff. What's FMS? Little tapping. All right. So we got upper back, dragon stuff, moving the stiffness, tapping. Pain-free body and abundant energy. That sounds like about the thing. Oh, fibromyalgia. Yeah, we can unglue those cobwebs. Something for wood energy. Interesting. Do you have too much wood? Is your liver chi stagnant? Something for fatigue. All right. All right. You want to go down? Posture. All right. Another fatigue. All right. All right. Well, that all looks good. Let's get going. Let's find some little space. You gonna Qigong with us today, Conan? Oh, are you gonna teach? Oh, you should just do what he's doing. I think that looks like a good stretch. Class is over. Class dismissed. All right, let's find our little space. We're going to start with just a full body silk reeling. Nice one to clear those cobwebs. So we're just going to start from the wrists and work our way down to the ankles. Starting with the wrists, just start to open your hands, open the wrists. Now, silk reeling, the name comes from the way they used to extract silk from silkworms. So if you think of silk, the fabric, they get it from somewhere, and it's from a little worm that spins a cocoon and turns into a moth. And what it spins the cocoon out of, that's what we call silk. And so in order to turn that cocoon into long fibers that could be used for silk, they would have to unravel the cocoon and pull those fibers out, which China kept secret for a very long time to keep control of the silk trade. Let's go the other direction. So as they were pulling those threads, what had to happen was the pressure and speed of the pulling and unraveling would have to stay the same speed and intensity the whole time. And if that speed or intensity changed, then the thread would snap. And so the goal was to get as long as a thread as you could. And so you would have to not slow down, not speed up, not add or subtract pressure. And so it's the same thing we're looking for here in these silk reeling motions. Like there's a very consistent speed and pressure moving through the joint. So it's not like kind of loose and flimsy sometimes, and then harder others, and speeding up and then going slow. It's very, very consistent. Let's move that to the elbows. Circling out from the elbows, still sort of opening and closing the wrists and hands. For the feeling of very consistent pressure moving around the elbow joint. So it's not like we feel like we go into the range of motion strongly at one point and then it relaxes and it's not strong at the other. It's that we're always right at the edge of that range of motion the whole time. So these definitely look like the simplest Qigong exercises, but there is a little bit of strategy to them, let's say. Let's go the other direction. Circle from the elbow joint, still opening the hands and wrists. Just going to read your comments here. Smack an egg on your, what does that mean? Smack an egg on my, hello, Evan from Vancouver. Oh, how's your broken arm, Evan? All right, let's open the shoulders. Pick your shoulders up, pull them back, set them down, bring them forward. Up, back, down, forward. We're going to try to rotate the upper arm bone here as well. So the arm is going to rotate out as we pull up and back, and it's going to rotate in as we come forward. So rotate the arm out and in, out and in. So we try to feel less into the shoulder and more into the shoulder blade sliding and gliding around the back. Breaking up any cobwebs around there. Not just in the shoulder joint, but in all the space under the scapula, shoulder blades. Let's go the other direction. This time we're going to switch. So the arms are going to rotate in as we come forward. Arms are going to rotate out as we pull back. So arms rotate in and out. In and out. Feel the scapula sliding around your back. Good. Set it back just 2 or 3 times. Just go backwards again. So pull those scapula together down your back and shake it out. All right, let's take our hands on the hips. Open around our spine a little more. Give your hips a big circle. Nice big circle. And think of the rib cage as leaning away from the hips here. So as the hips go to one side, the rib cage is going to lean away and open the waist. Not just opening the hips, but opening the waist as well. We think of the same thing at the front and back. So we lean the ribs away from the hips, open the front. As we come back, think of rounding the low back, tucking the tailbone to open up the back. So open front, open back, front, side, back, side. A little stretch moving around. Let's go the other direction. And come back to the center. Take your feet together, hands over the knees. Give your knees a circle. Nice one to strengthen the knees, but also open up the ankles and feet. And you can give a nice little opening on the low back as well, very gently here. Go the other direction. All right, straighten your legs, fold and stretch. Roll it up. Very nice, step it out. You're gonna take your palms together, relax, relax. Take your palms together, fingers pointed down behind your back. You're gonna tuck this as high as you can. It might not be very high, but however high you can, it might be your tailbone or your low back. Roll your shoulders down your back. Lift through your crown. And start to give your head a big circle. Big slow circle. For a stretch moving around your neck. Keep reaching gently through your crown. Keep the neck nice and long, no pinching. And go the other way. And let's drop chin to chest. Tuck the tailbone. Sink your chest back as that chin comes down. We're going to take a few deep breaths into our upper back. Look for a little stretch between your shoulder blades. Think of your inhales as expanding that space. Couple deep breaths. Drop the hands. Give it a shake. All right. Let's knock it out a bit. Bring your hands up. Give your chest a little tap. Go up and down on the sternum. It's always uncomfortable after chest day. Sorry to hear you can't do much, Evid. Hopefully that arm heals up soon. All right, open up one arm. Come down from your chest down the inside of the arm. I like to use a light fist, but you can use an open palm if you prefer. We're just going to come up the outside of the arm, up of the shoulder, chest, down the inside. It's supposed to follow our meridians, but you can really think of this as breaking up anything stuck or stagnant in your physical or energetic body. Let's go across the other side, down the inside of the arm, up the outside, down the inside. Okay, back to the chest. Let's take a big breath. Big breath in and let out a big sigh. Very nice. Lift one arm, slide from the armpit down the side waist. Armpit down the side waist. Other side. Breaking up any stagnation, especially in the lymph nodes there at the armpit. Come to your low back, give the low back a knock. Go up and down from there to about the tailbone and sacrum. And we're going to use our palms and slap down the back of the legs and up the inside of the legs. Down the back of the leg, up the inside. Come to the hip crease, knock there. One little circle around the hip crease. You're following the soft part in between the hip bone and pelvis bones. And relax, shake it out. Very nice. All right, bringing the feet together, let's find our swimming dragon from a narrow stance. It's a really nice one to open up the spine. So our feet are narrow, our knees are a little bent. You want to feel like your knees stay touching the whole time, so your feet should be close enough that that happens. You're going to bring the hands in prayer and just start to send the hips left and right. And the hands are going to press opposite to the hips, keeping the fingers pointed up, straighten that front arm as much as you can. So you really press into it there. And the idea is, as you press through the hands, your arms are going to pull the rib cage opposite to the hips. So it's really the rib cage and hips are trying to move away from each other here. And that's going to open the lower spine. Then we're going to start to turn the head away from the hands to open the upper spine as the ribs and head rotate in opposite directions. Some nice deep breaths here, just a few more. Unlock the spine, ribs and waist, neck and shoulders. Then we're going to come to the center, and here we're going to think about opening the sides of the spine. So we're going to start to move our head like the head of a snake, and our spine is like following along, a snake-like motion. Think of the sides of the spine as opening up, becoming supple and flexible. Bring your hands up over the head. And feel for that stretch, not just on the sides of the spine, but the sides of the body a little more. As I stay a little sunk in my hips, a little bent in the knees. And we're going to reach up and fold forward again, stretch over the legs. So we have straight legs here. Just fold to the point you get a stretch. You don't have to touch your toes or whatever. Feel into your low back. Make sure you're not pulling on your low back discs or anything. Just come to a point you get a nice stretch. We'll relax for a few deep breaths. Good, roll it up. Very nice. Let's step it out, shoulder width. We'll find another dragon Qigong. This one not part of swimming dragon. Swimming dragon generally deals with the spine. This one also opens the lower spine, but it's more meant to open the waist itself and to stretch the hip flexors. So we're going to, with our feet under the shoulders, toes pointed forward, we're going to hold a chi ball, basically encapsulating the abdominal region. So the upper hand is just below your chest, lower hand is right at the pelvic bone. It's a little in front of the body, so we're not hugging it right against us. It's just a bit out here. So usually when we have these chi balls outside the body, people get a little confused. They think like all their attention is on finding this feeling of chi between the hands, but it's really where the inside of the body where the hands are mirroring that we're trying to cultivate the chi. When we hold this chi ball here, it's this whole region of the torso that we're trying to build some chi. So if you're not already, find your left hand on top, right hand on the bottom. Find your tailbone sinking, and your crown of your head getting light. So this is sort of like our Zhenjuan postures, our standing meditation postures. And we're going to move from here. Each time we're going to pause here for a couple deep breaths, and then we're going to move into a more dynamic stretch. So that stretch goes like this. I'll show you from the other side. We're going to shift our weight to our left foot. We're going to step out to about a horse stance width. We're going to turn on the right heel, so the right toes point to the right. The left heel is going to slide back a tiny bit, so that foot's about 45 degrees. Our right knee is bent over the ankle. And then our right hand is going to go from under the chi ball forward like we're throwing a frisbee. The left hand is going to go up like we're pressing against the ceiling. And then you're going to rotate to the right. The right hand is going to pull back, helping you to twist in your lower spine to your right. The left hand is going to continue extending upwards. We're looking for two feelings here. One, a twist and opening through the torso. And two, a little stretch at the front of the left hip. A little hip flexor stretch there. Let's bring that back to the center. Turn your toes forward. Spiral the hands back to a chi ball. Right hand on top this time. Step it in. Feet under the shoulders. I hope I had the hands right last time. So we're back here. Right hand is on top. Left hand's on the bottom. I might have had that mixed up the last time. Apologize if so. Sink your tailbone, float your crown, find a deep breath. Shift your weight to the right foot. We're going to step out left. Turn on the left heel. Slide that right heel a tiny bit back just so the foot winds up about 45 degrees. Left hand throws the frisbee. Right hand presses the ceiling. Knees bent over the ankle. The left fingers continue sort of reaching outwards. The right hand continues reaching upwards to keep the body feeling really expanded as we twist. So the left hand's going to pull back to your left. We're going to find a nice twist. Think of your hips also rotating left until you get a little stretch on the right front hip. If you don't feel that, you might think of tucking the tailbone a little more. Bring it back to the center. Point the toes forward. Spiral the hands back to the chi ball. Left hand on top. Shift your weight right. Slide left foot in. And again, we'll just relax there for a couple deep breaths. Tailbone sinking, crown floating. Holding the structure and space in the body for the chi to build and accumulate. And going into the stretch to make more of that space. Let's go a little quicker this time. Weight in the left foot, step right. Turn on the heels. Right hand throws the frisbee, left hand presses up. Rotate to the right. Nice deep breath. Bring it back in. Toes point forward, hands spiral in. Step in. Right hand on top. Holding the chi ball, find your breath. Weight in the right foot. Step it left. Turn on the heels. Left hand forward, right hand up. Rotate left. Reach through the hands. Twist and stretch. Back to the center. Toes point forward. Spiral it in. Shift. Step it in. Find your chi ball. Nice deep breath. We'll just do one more each way. This time really flowing into it. Putting all the movements together into one fluid maneuver. We're going to shift left. The hands are going to go out as we step. Turn on the heels. And go all the way into that rotation. Right hand pulling back. Back to the center, toes point forward, spiral in, step in. Gather the chi ball. Weight in the right foot. Stepping left, hands go out as we're stepping. Hold for a stretch. Back to the center. Step in, spiral in. Find your chi ball. Nice deep breath. This one has an interesting little closing movement. We drop the hands, float up. Palms are open. You're going to grab one thumb with the other fist. Then wrap the fingers behind that fist. Drop that down like a stone to the bottom of a lake. The hands are going to touch against the lower abdomen, just below the navel. Again, sink your tailbone, flip the crown, sink the shoulder blades down the back, and find your breath sinking towards the lower dantian. In this case, the hands are held against the body. Finding that inner anchor. Breathe through the dantian. Take a deep breath in. Let out a big sigh. Good. Give it a little shake. Very nice. Let's stretch the upper body a little more. Take your palms face forward. Fingers pulling down. You're going to really spread the thumbs and fingers. And then to start to turn the head over one side and the other slowly. Look for a little stretch from the thumb up the bicep, into the side of the neck, into the jaw. Try keeping your teeth touching together here. Take your head in a big, slow nod over one shoulder. Just like you're saying yes with your head to one side. Move that stretch back and forth along the side of the neck. Chin to chest, other side. Nodding the head. You can breathe with it, exhaling forward, inhaling back. Let's release that. Give it a shake. Very nice. All right, let's start to give it a bounce. Shake the whole body. Let go of tension. Scan through your body. Notice where you can release. Keep bouncing. I'm just going to read your comments. Hey, Joshua. Thanks for signing up for the teacher training. The stream must be getting popular. I'm getting like spam in the comments now. You can now buy followers, get famous. Give your heels a little knock. Let's vibrate the bones. Let those breaths out the mouth, sighing breaths. Use that to release. reverse engineering the natural release of stress from the body. Very nice, slow it down, feel your chi. Nice deep breath. If you feel a buzzing or vibrating in your body, that buzz we get from shaking, giving us a little taste of what our body is capable in terms of harnessing more energy. Of course, the lasting energy comes from our Qigong proper practice. First thing we want to do is find our posture. So shifting gears from sort of a Dao Yin opening of the body to the Qigong movement of energy through the body. So find your feet square under the shoulders. They can be a little narrower or a little wider. Often we're over or underestimating how wide or narrow the shoulders are. So just let your arms hang. See where your hands point. That should be about where your feet are, give or take. Generally, men tend to overestimate how wide their shoulders are doing Qigong like this. Women tend to underestimate, and they're in a little narrow. So try to find where your shoulder width actually is. Helps when you see yourself on a little screen here. Your toes are pointed forward, not meaning your big toe is pointed forward, but meaning your second toe seems to be the one pointing forward, which means the foot itself is more generally pointed forward. It kind of sometimes looks like that means they're pointed inwards, but the second toe is kind of like the average of the toes. So we want that going forward. Make sure your knees aren't collapsing in. You can give them a little rotation out if that feels like what's happening. Thinking of rotating the thighs outwards as though there's a little beach ball between your knees. You're going to sit your tailbone as though you're sitting on a yoga ball, letting your low back muscles relax. You're going to float your crown as though your brain was full of helium, with your chin slightly tucking back to open the back of the neck. And think of the light crown and the heavy tailbone like they're moving gently away from each other, creating a little length along the spine. Take your shoulder blades and roll them down your back. Just try to relax them down the back. And even the chest, we kind of lose the military posture and just a very subtle relaxation of the chest. Shouldn't be sunk and hollow, but should be just a little bit dropped. Here we're going to take our palms face in. Just out in front of the hips slightly. As though our hands were on two balloons floating on a lake. Our elbows slightly flared away from the ribs as though the upper arm bone is resting on a tennis ball against your ribs. There's a lot of variations of these postures that we call Zhanzhuan, or standing like a tree. It's not too important which one you choose to train, or a lot of systems will use multiple that you cycle through. The point is to build this form and structure into the body. And as the biologist Albert St. Georgi said, structure supports function, and function supports structure. And function is often the translation for the word chi. So we often say energy, but another definition is function, which is basically the same thing. Movement of energy through a structure. So Qigong want to create the structure that facilitates the energy until eventually the energy is moving to such an extent that it maintains the posture or the structure. So I'm just going to hold here for a few breaths, just a couple more minutes, just really setting these foundations of our Qigong practice. The body, like a rubber band that's being stretched, is going to try to shrink back to its normal positions. Things are going to close up. We're going to get back into a not great posture. So you're going to try to keep sort of refining. It's not like we just put ourselves in the posture and then it stays there. There's a very slow, subtle retraction back to a normal position. And we keep sort of refining all those little points, lifting the crown, tucking the chin, sinking the tailbone and pelvis, floating the elbows, letting the fingers open. Try to keep the palms parallel to the earth. They can't often wind up kind of doing this. We get a little lazy. Try to keep them up parallel. All right, from here, let's move into the flow. A simple one, Tai Chi opening. We float the hands up and float down. Nice long, smooth breaths through the nose, inhaling our way up, exhaling our way down. Nice deep breaths. As we sink down, it's like we're sinking back into that Wuji position. As we come up, we slightly lift the chest, untuck the tailbone, stand a little taller, kind of exaggerating here. As we come down, we sink back into that structure. The feeling we're looking for is like there's a center of gravity within us that is sinking and rising. Sinking and rising. You should feel this almost literally in your body. Center of mass moves up towards the chest, down towards the belly. Good. Now we're going to leave the right palm face down like it's in Wuji. Left palm is going to do a big circle, going to come all the way up. Circle behind us. We turn a little to the left. Circle down below. And it's going to come palm face up. Our hands are about shoulder width, and they're going to lift up together. And the left palm turns down, and they both float down. Call this one Kuan Yin, paints the rainbow. So our right hand goes up, circles behind and down. They come up on the same plane, shoulder width. Flip the right hand, float it down. Let's add the breath here. Left hand, inhale, going up. Exhale, going down, we sink. Inhale up, stand a little taller. Flip the palm, exhale down. Pretty easy to remember the breath. Inhale on the upwards motions. Exhale through the downwards motions. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Nice slow, deep breaths. This one a Buddhist Qigong exercise named after the Bodhisattva, which means sort of an enlightened being, was chosen to, instead of disappearing into the void of nirvana, has chosen to stay and help those who are not enlightened yet. Bodhisattva, and her name is Kuan Yin. They say she is the Bodhisattva of mercy, mercy and compassion. So feel for a sense of cultivating grace within yourself. So we merge heaven and earth, touching the sky, touching the earth, palms face up and down. We bring heaven down to earth. So we are a bodhisattva. Let's take it back to our Wuji position. This one, a really great position for feeling our connection to the earth. Feel that tailbone ground down towards the earth. Crown of the head float up towards the sky. And palms and feet like they're growing roots into the earth. We feel like a continuation of the earth, like a mountain. The earth becomes the mountain. They're not really separate. In the same way, our qi merges with the qi of the earth. We become a continuation of the earth, just like the mountain. All our bones, connective tissues aligned with the earth, aligned with gravity. Helping the earth qi to fill us up with strength and vitality. Just hold for a couple more breaths. And we're going to turn our palms upwards, just very gently in front of you. Keep all the same postural principles. Now feel the palms of your hands, the crown of your head, opening to receive the light of heaven. What do we mean by heaven? It can really mean whatever it means to you. You could just be opening up to the stars, to an expanded vision, expanded sense of self, connection to the source, the mysterious, perhaps some more metaphysical reality that you believe in, just angels or particular deity. So whatever represents your connection to the heavens, your connection to divinity, feel as though you open up to that. And that might just be imagining the night sky. That sense of awe we feel when we get away from the city lights and see the vastness of the Milky Way above us. We're going to relax the hands down, float up towards the sky. We're going to find another Buddhist Qigong exercise called lotus. Here, as we come over the head, we're going to touch the thumbs and the first fingers, make a little diamond. And so we connect to the light of heaven and help it to stream downwards through the body, through the crown, through the heart, all the way down to the earth. Like we touch the core of the earth, and the power and vitality from the earth rises up through the body, merges with the light of heaven at the heart. And the heart expands. The earth chi, the heaven chi. We're going to pause here, holding a diamond in front of the heart. You can imagine that heavenly chi as white light coming down through the body, down as a thin beam right through the center of the body. The earth chi coming up as more broad, filling up of golden light up through the entire body. These mix in the heart. Why do we want both in the heart? Why not just heaven chi? We want ourselves to be grounded in reality, the reality that we live in. We want to combine the inspiration from heaven, the inspiration to do good, to have compassion, to care for others, with the power from the earth to actually do good, actually do something with that, to ground that inspiration in reality. So a lot of people who tend towards the spiritual arts tend to sometimes neglect the body, neglect vitality, be afraid of their own power. But love and power have to come together in order to do good in the world. Let's curl it under. Touch the backs of the fingers together. We're going to bring it up to the heart. This is where the lotus flower blooms. We just pause here. On this first one, just pausing and breathing gently into the heart, as though this golden white lotus flower was blooming inside your heart. The lotus flower is so often used as a symbol in the Eastern arts because it blooms out of the mud at the bottom of the lake, out of the rotting debris and corpses that make up the mud. The lotus flower requires this in order to bloom. And so in the same way, out of the suffering that is innate to life, we grow the flower of wisdom and compassion. Let's drop it down. We'll go through this at a little more of a flow. We float the hands up, take an inhale, make the diamond, exhale, float it down. Inhale, drawing back up to the heart. Exhale, expand gently forward. Curl down and under. And inhale, balloon the lotus at the heart. Now on this exhale, we'll breathe out the mouth. Gentle sigh as we drop the hands, clearing any stuck energy from the heart. Inhale, float back up, touch heaven, touch the sky. Exhale, bring it down. White light passing through the center of the body. Inhale, golden light up from the earth. Exhale, golden white light expanding from the heart all around you. And inhale, bringing the attention deep inside, healing your own heart. And exhale with a big sigh, releasing any stuck energy. Inhale, float it up. Exhale it down. Bringing heaven down to earth. Raising the power of earth up through the body to nourish the heart. Expanding that energy outwards, like we grow a loving field of energy that can influence others. And then bringing it inwards, make sure that we're also nourishing ourselves. Let it go with a big sigh. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, expand the heart energy, loving kindness all around you. Inhale, direct that love to yourself. Forgive yourself, heal yourself, and let go of the past. Coming upwards for guidance and inspiration. Coming downwards for strength and vitality. Merging in at the heart. Expanding as loving kindness. Then bring that love in to yourself. Go through 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale with a sigh. One more time. Connect to your highest purpose. Fill your body with strength and vitality. Expand a loving field around you. Don't forget to bring some of that love in for yourself. Let it go with a sigh. I'm going to step the feet in together. Bring the palms face up under the dantian. Circle one hand out, touching earth, touching heaven. Bring it down through the center of the body and thinking of grounding that heart energy, anchoring it also to the lower dantian. So we do a half circle. Anchor all the way to the dantian. Inhale, half circle. Exhale, sink to the dantian. Dantian helping to anchor our energy, hoping to conserve our energy so we don't try to overthink or overuse our emotions to influence reality. We can conserve that energy, stay grounded in reality, even as we touch the divine. Just one more time. Hold at the lower dantian. Let your body rock and sway. Feel yourself like a conduit between heaven and earth. The light from the heavens is passing downwards through you. Light from the earth is shining upwards. And like these two lights are in no conflict at all. Like if you shone two flashlights towards each other, the light doesn't bounce off each other. It just passes right through. Sort of a magical property of light. You can move equally in two directions against each other's current. And so feel that even as we connect to the divine, to our highest purpose, our highest self, or creator, whatever is the divine for you. There's no conflict between this divinity, between heaven, and between earth. Earth rises to meet heaven, like the mountain reaching towards the sky. And heaven descends to gently guide and influence the earth. Letting ourselves rock and sway. Just becoming that conduit like the tree, yielding to the breeze, moving with the wind. Excuse me. Very nice. Slowly, let's step it back out. Circle the belly. Centering that energy. Center, bring it into the dantian, bring it through the organs of the belly. We'll center below the navel. Take a deep breath in. Let out a big sigh. Very nice. Feel free to move your joints a bit. Anything your body's asking for, if it feels a little stuck anywhere, get a little movement or stretch into those places. Very good. All right. I think we'll call that a day today. Hope you guys enjoyed. What's kind of interesting about Taoism is just sort of the philosophy Qigong comes from, is they really don't see a huge conflict between like spiritual development and sort of our earthly instincts and body, which is why they're famous for the idea of kind of going with the flow. So not resisting the physical nature of life, our need for a healthy body, or to have a family, or to have sex, or to have healthy food. All these things were seen as part of, or could be integrated into a spiritual life, rather than being repressed. So we really feel that in our Qigong sometimes, the way we bring the heaven and earth energy together. We feel the way that a healthy, vibrant body actually supports a healthy, calm, clear mind, and vice versa. So, thanks for all your comments, everybody. Yeah, I could feel that too, Tina. Qigong's pretty cool like that, connecting our energy from around the world. So neat. It's funny to think that when I'm like connecting upwards to heaven, somebody is like on the other side of the planet, and they're up as my down. Well, thanks for joining, everybody. I was going to run a Q&A yesterday here on YouTube Live for my teacher training. So just anybody who's interested can ask me questions live, and I'll answer them for everybody. But I had a little technical issue, so I wasn't able to run it. So I'm gonna do it again next week, but I think that means I'm gonna extend my early bird discount. I also had a few issues with the code. Like I think I did something wrong on the back end, and some people were finding the discount code didn't work. So one more week for the early bird discount if you want 25% off the teacher training. I can't remember if I put the link in the description on this one. Probably did, but so you get another week. So if you sign up by next Sunday with the code early15, you can get yourself 15% off still, and that even works on the payment plans, or should now. I think I had a tech issue before, but it should now work on all the payment plan options. If money's tight, there's 3, 6, and even 12-month payment plans for this course, which is crazy of me because it's a 12-week course, but I'll give you 12 months to pay it off. So that's me trusting you a lot. But if you need it, it's something I always felt like I needed. When I was trying to learn all this stuff, I wasn't like rich or something, so I was always like, man, I wish these people had payment plans for this kind of stuff. So that sort of stuff helped me a lot. So I hope to pass the what do they say? Pass the baton. I feel like there's a different saying for that, but anyways, really good seeing you guys, and always love your comments here. Can you tell me what other exercise you do for aerobic fitness? Aerobic. I don't know that I do much aerobics. I'm kind of allergic to cardio, but I do a lot of weightlifting, as you can tell. I lift weights like probably 5 or 6 days a week, which is probably too much for most people. I think 2 or 3 days a week lifting weights is a great idea. I do hike a lot. That's probably aerobic. When I make my videos, I hike with a big backpack full of like 100 pounds. Probably not 100 pounds, but a good amount of pounds of camera gear. It might be 100 pounds. I don't actually know. And so I'm going up and down mountains with that. So that probably works my aerobic health, especially at that altitude. What else do? I do a bit of kung fu. It's good for aerobics. Yeah, I'm not. I think overdoing cardio kind of stuff. I think it is quite draining to your chi. I think there's a lot of research on that. It actually slows your metabolism. So you're burning a ton of calories like while you're doing cardio, but then after it makes your body so efficient with calories that it actually like lowers your metabolism in the long run. So I think the best explanation I've heard to do cardio in a healthy way is to breathe through your nose while you're doing it. And if you get to the point where you can't breathe through your nose, you have to huff and puff through your mouth. It means you're being put into like a hypoxic state, and that is going to suppress your metabolism long term. So to just try to stay in a state where you can breathe through your nose as you're doing cardio, and just keep expanding on how long you can jog or whatever it is while breathing through your nose seems like the most sustainable way to do cardio if you're into that kind of thing, which I actually really would like to do. I just have a hard time making time to add that to the busy schedule of exercisey stuff I already do. Oh, thanks, Carol. I do look fit, right? I feel like I'm getting there. What is good for raised blood pressure? Well, definitely qigong. Definitely stuff that pulls the qi down. Anything that lowers your stress really is going to help with blood pressure. Do. Yeah, specific stuff like that. You can always go and see an acupuncturist, and they might have some, specific herbs and stuff that they'll give you. Acupuncture. It's usually a good idea. Doesn't always work. So hit and miss because acupuncture is such a like creative science that you know, not all acupuncturists are created equal, but most of them are very good, at least in California. I don't know how much. I think this different states and different countries have different sort of rules on how much education is needed and whatnot. But I've never been to an acupuncturist that I didn't find helpful. So, but they're worth checking out. And if you find one that isn't helpful, you just go to another one. You don't need to decide like, oh, acupuncture or Chinese herbs don't work. Just go to a different one, and you might find a totally different response. Do you have a link for the Sunday class? I have to search to find you. A link for the Sunday class. Oh, like this class? Sometimes I email it out. So if you're not on my email list, you might see it more often then. I do try to post it like a few days ahead on YouTube. So make sure you're like following me here. And there's a little function on YouTube called like the notification bell. So I think somewhere around the subscribe button, there's like a bell. It looks like a bell, I think is the icon. And so if you turn on the notifications for my channel by clicking that bell or something, then when I post new things, YouTube will just show you. It'll like pop up on your phone or computer or whatever. So that kind of stuff helps. All right, I think that's everything. Don't forget, you can join me for live classes pretty much every day at the same time as this class, Monday through Friday, on viasession.com/Nick Lawfrey. If you can't find that, just go to my website, nicklawfrey.com. If you ever I know I have so many like different platforms. So if you ever get confused where to find what, just go to my website, nicklawfrey.com. If you can't even remember my name, just put nickofchi.com because I bought that too, the QI, nickofchi.com. And you'll see links to all that stuff, my daily classes, the teacher training, my social media stuff. So, and your first class is free on there. So those classes I do charge for, and they're over Zoom, but they're not too expensive. And your first one's free if you just want to come check one out. So we have a lot of fun on there. I've had the same group of people coming since the beginning of the pandemic, and a lot of them have come every single day, which has been really interesting. But nobody's required to come every day. Anything else? Oh, if you want the replay to this or any other of my YouTube lives, you can find all the replays on patreon.com/Nick Lawfrey. I believe the link to that should be in the description below this. And that one's really an affordable way to get more content from me. It's probably the cheapest thing you can get from me, and pretty high value because now, I don't know, it's probably like 50 or like 100 classes or something on there now. Thanks again, everybody. Super fun seeing you as always. And I'll catch you either next week or at some other thingamajig. Look out for the Ask Me Anything about my teacher training. And if you want notifications about that or anything else that I do, sign up for my email list on my website. Just go to nicklawfrey.com and a little pop-up will come up. Glad to hear your glowing Gemma. I think that would be Gemma, right? Glowing Gemma. All right. See you guys next week. Ciao.